Hey everyone, this is Gary House Cooking Everything Outdoors show. And today we're back at it with the Cedar Plank trays. But this time I'm making lasagna on the grill in the Cooking Everything Outdoors show. Gary House, the Outdoor Cook, Cooking Everything Outdoors show. I hope you try this at home. Let's go over our ingredients for our lasagna. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front, this is not a traditional lasagna recipe, and I'm making it with turkey because that's the only way I'm going to get my wife to eat it. So here we go. So first off, I have about a pound of Italian seasoned ground turkey, 2 cups of sliced cremini mushrooms, got 1 cup of red onions, just chopped up. Got about 3/4 cup of some Italian seasoned tomatoes. 1 jar of marinara sauce, get the good stuff. About 3 cups of mozzarella and Parmesan blended cheese. There's about 2 cups of mozzarella cheese in there and about 1 cup of fancy Parmesan. I'm going really easy today. I'm using the oven-ready lasagna pasta, and this is the stuff that you don't have to pre-boil. I mean, this is great if you're camping, which this whole recipe is absolutely perfect for. Some good olive oil, some spray, olive cooking spray, a cedar tray plank, and this is about 15 inches by about 2 inches deep. It could probably be 4 inches deep, but this is what we're cooking this bad boy in. And I pre-soaked it for about an hour because it's going to be a long cook in there, and I just want to help protect it as much as possible. Gas grill, you can use charcoal grill, work just as well, and actually give you a little additional flavor. I've got a, I think a 10-inch, probably a 12-inch cast iron skillet here that we're going to be cooking our turkey in first. Our cast iron skillet's been preheating. Grill's up about 425 degrees right now. So it's going to be time to start cooking here. I'm going to add just a wee bit of olive oil. I'm going to get my onions started. Onions, entirely optional. Just happens to be one of the things I like in my lasagna. So the onions are just about where I want them. I'm going to add my Italian turkey and get breaking that up. We're going to cook this all the way through. So our ground Italian turkey is done. It's cooked all the way through. It's even browning up a little bit, which is okay. Now it's time to take this off the heat. Now remember, the skillet is really hot. It's been cooking at probably about 400 degrees. We've got a skillet handle pot protector, if you will, and then an extra kitchen cloth to wrap around there because it's screaming hot and it's really heavy. So now we're just going to put this in a bowl. Now I'm going to leave the grease from the turkey, which is very, very little, and I'm going to put that in the pan, or I'm going to actually leave that as I cook in there. It'll add some moisture to it. Now that we have this, this is when we're going to add our marinara sauce to it, and it'll take, well, about a whole jar. We'll get that mixed in really good. Then I'm going to add my tomatoes, which I've drained, but there's still a little bit of juice in there. And that is going to be the base for our lasagna. So now that our lasagna sauce mixture is ready to go, I want to preheat my cedar plank tray. And this is just to remove any impurities or bacteria that might have built up, which is not very common on cedar, but it's a good practice to have. And I'm just going to turn this cooking side down on my grill. And I'm going to close it up. I'm going to listen very carefully. I always keep a squirt bottle and a fire extinguisher handy whenever I'm cooking anything with cedar planks. That's going to start popping and crackling here in a few minutes. Now also, I want you to, when you do this, keep in mind that that cedar plank tray has got a lot of cracks in it and stuff, and if you want to ruin your tablecloth, and you can tell mine is an antique. So lay out another towel, because some of this is going to drip through and it's going to get kind of messy. And as soon as that's ready to go, we're building a lasagna. Once you hear your cedar plank tray start to pop, and well, you just heard it, and start to smell, that's when you know it's probably ready to pull off. Get yourself a good heavy pair of barbecue mittens and get your tray off of there. And you can see it's starting to brown up, but I know that it's hot enough to where it's done its job. Now, there it goes. I'm going to have my lasagna cedar plank tray cooking on indirect heat. This particular barbecue has its burners going in this direction, so I'm going to turn the middle one off and close this back up to warm it back up. And I'm looking for about 375 is basically what I'm going to cook this at. So let's start filling our tray up. First thing I want to do is give it a good coat on the inside, just to help prevent any sticking. It's not going to detract from any flavor at all. And to make this, it's really as simple as just layering everything in there. Just a small first layer, 3 or 4 scoops in there probably to get it going. And I really am going to pack mine as much as possible. In fact, if I can make all this fit in this one tray, I'm going to be a happy camper. I think there's enough for 2. But once you've got it spread out like that, then if you want mushrooms in yours, layer your mushrooms in there. Throw some on the ground for the dog. Maybe something like that. Get some cheese on there. How much is entirely up to you. I got a couple little handfuls on there. We're going to want to reserve at least a quarter of this cheese for the top. And then we'll take our fancy oven ready to go lasagna noodles. Come out of the box, and we're just going to layer that and try to get it as flat as possible. I stagger my noodles. In this case, it's going to take about 3 noodles there. Okay, once we've got that, let's get another layer going. By Jovi, I think I'm going to be able to use all this. Go away, bee. Okay, another layer of mushrooms. Pack as many in there as you like. A little bit more cheese in the second layer. I go a little heavier. Okay, our tray's getting a little full now. It's perfect. Keep packing it down, working it in place. Get another layer of noodles in there. This baby's going to be bursting to the gills. Excellent. Looks like I'm going to get all of it on there. Okay. Now, mushrooms are entirely optional on this layer. If you do want to add more mushrooms on there, I'm not going to, but if you do, I'd recommend putting the mushrooms down first and putting the sauce over it. Oh, fantastic. It all fit. For a second there, I thought I was going to have a lot left over. But, in this case, being wrong is a good thing. Okay. Nice 15-inch tray full of lasagna. You could probably tweak another layer on top of this. You can get some more mushrooms on there if you want. The problem with adding some mushrooms on the top like this, and we'll do it, is that they're more than likely to dry up like little hockey pucks as you cook it. But we can drizzle a little olive oil on that to help. And it'll actually impart some yummy little flavor to that. So this is pretty much it where we want to go. Now what I want to do is I want to put this in the grill indirect heat for 50 minutes. It's getting a little hot, so I got to turn that down. Watch your temperature. And this is going to bake for, I'm going to say 40 to 50 minutes. That way those noodles will absorb the moisture in there and they'll get really soft and everything will cook and blend together. Then the last 10 minutes, we're piling on the cheese. Okay, set your lasagna in the grill. Here we go, indirect heat. My burners are on either side. Now as this cooks, this is not a good technique to go wandering off and watching TV while it's cooking or going out fishing while you're camping, because this tray can catch on fire, more likely with charcoal than it is with gas. So keep your fire extinguisher and water close by. Keep an eye on this. And what we're going to be looking for is if this starts to dry out too much on us, I'm going to go and I'm going to slap some foil on it to keep that moisture within itself. But I'm not too worried about it right now. We'll take a look. I'll probably be back in about 30 minutes. So lasagna's been on for about 40 minutes now. Time to slather on some cheese. Look at that. Don't be shy here. This is the icing on the cake. And that's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll melt that, pull it, let it cool down a bit, serve it. It's almost time to pull the lasagna, but before I do that, I want to take a second to thank my sponsors. Camp Chef at OutdoorCooking.com and Island Grillstone. Without them, none of this could be possible. Please take a minute to swing by and say hi to them. Tell them you saw the Cooking Everything Outdoor show and you love it and you want to see more of it. Let's pull this. Oh yeah. Nice. Look at that. That there, my friends, the Cedar Plank Tray lasagna a la Cooking Everything Outdoors. We're going to let that cool down just a bit. Listen, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. You can check me out on iTunes, on YouTube, on Pinterest, on Facebook, Twitter, and cooking-outdoors.com. Thanks again. This is Gary House, Cooking Everything Outdoors show. We made lasagna on the grill.